Patty, Patty, Patty. Sharks fans bring a tear to Marleau's eyes. A misty-eyed Patrick Marleau stood alone under the spotlight for more than a minute, raising his stick in gratitude to Sharks fans as chants of "Patty, Patty, Patty" rained down on him. The Teal faithful filled up the SAP Center Monday, many wearing number 12 jerseys, to show their admiration for Mr. Shark, who left town over the summer to join the Toronto Maple Leafs after 19 seasons with the organization, in which he set franchise records for goals, 508, points, 1,082, and games played, 1,493. Marleau reciprocated the love that Sharks fans showed to him in his homecoming to San Jose, clapping his hands in appreciation as the tank roared with an enthusiasm typically reserved for Stanley Cup playoff games. Marleau's wife, Christina Marleau, could be seen wiping tears away from her eyes during the ovation. It was extremely special to get an ovation like that and see all the signs and everything. Marleau said after the game, a 3-2 Sharks win, just really humbling at the same time. It was something I'm always going to remember. They showed me great support through my time here, and especially tonight was really special. To be honored like that by the Sharks and the organization and the fans. I'll never forget it. The Sharks put together a classy tribute for Marleau, showing a montage of his most memorable moments in teal on the cube. The day he was drafted with the second overall pick in 1997, his overtime winner against the Detroit Red Wings in the 2010 playoffs, and his 500th career goal in Vancouver last winter. But the celebration felt premature, the type of homage that should have come after Marleau's retirement, with his number 12 being raised into the rafters. It took a near-perfect storm to get Marleau to trade in his teal jersey for the Maple Leafs' iconic blue and white sweater, a 3-year contract offer, $18.75 million, the chance to play for a coach he once said he'd skate through a wall for a better shot at winning the Stanley Cup, and the opportunity to play for a franchise that's a national institution in his native country. Marleau acknowledged that he wore out a few carpets making the decision, but how did it reach a point where the Maple Leafs were able to swoop in and lure him away? It's unlikely that we'll ever know the specifics about how things went down. General Manager Doug Wilson doesn't openly discuss contract negotiations, and Marleau is too respectful to take dinner-table conversations into the press. We do know, however, that the Sharks' final offer to Marleau was reportedly a 2-year, $10 million deal. No one can fault the Sharks for not matching the Maple Leafs' offer, but it's quite possible that they could have nipped the courtship in the bud by bringing this offer to the table before Marleau hit the open market on July 1. Nevertheless, there is a feeling in some circles that it was time to move on. Marleau had been the face of the franchise for nearly 2 decades, and some believe the team needed to cut ties with him to give opportunities to their young prospects and to free up cap space to pursue another elite caliber player via trade or through free agency. In reality, the Sharks had already transitioned away from a Marleau and Joe Thornton-led core to being a team centered around Joe Pavelski, Logan Couture, Brent Burns, Marc-Edouard Vlasic and Martin Jones. But for a team that's already paying Mikulka $16 million over 4 years, Marleau could check off a lot of boxes as a 2-year, $10 million glorified role player. Marleau can skate on the wing and he can play center, so he could have been an insurance policy against an injury to Thornton or Couture. He could have also been an option for the third-line center slot, where he helped the Sharks produce a 2-6-1-4-4 record in the second half of the 2015-16 season, when opponents struggled to match up against their depth down the middle. At this point, it's still unclear whether Christiani can consistently give the Sharks the third-line edge that they had when they made a run to the Stanley Cup final that year. Head coach Pete DeBoer could also be skating Marleau on the wing, allowing him to drop Thomas Hertl back into the third-line center position. If Kevin Labanc flames out in the second half again this year, Marleau would have given Deboer another option for Thornton and Pavelski's line. The benefits of having Marleau on the roster extend beyond his flexibility. He's also a penalty killer, a threat on the power play, and despite his age, he would still be the best skating forward among the Sharks' top six, a group that often struggles to keep up with the speed of the modern NHL. The major knock against Marleau has always been his willingness to play a hard game, a criticism that should be put to bed by the Maple Leafs' pursuit of him in free agency. No one demands more compete out of their players than head coach Mike Babcock, who won 2 gold medals with Marleau on Team Canada, and general manager Lou Lamoriello. If these guys bought into the popular media narrative that Marleau lacks the grit to get the job done in the spring, he would still be wearing teal. It's true that Marleau isn't exactly a bull, but every team needs a few cheaters, too. But only time will reveal the impact of Marleau's exodus to Toronto. The extra $10 million in cash could give the Sharks a shot at trading for a player, such as Matt Duchene, at the deadline, or pursuing a free agent, such as John Tavares, in the off-season. It could work out in the long run. After Monday night, though, at least one is clear: Marleau will always be Mr. Shark.